Today, a handful of companies dictate the terms of global technology. Tesla, SpaceX, Palantir. Together, their market footprint clears $3.5 trillion. But the architects of this empire didn't start out as establishment billionaires. In 1999, Peter Thiel, Elon Musk, and Max Levchin were scrappy immigrants and outsiders. They were deeply suspicious of the traditional banking system, and they wanted to build an alternative. They were also fierce competitors. Their alliance was the result of a brutal standoff between two rival startups operating in the exact same Palo Alto office building, Confinity and X.com. To avoid destroying each other through extreme cash burn, they executed a tense 50-50 merger. The entity that eventually became PayPal did not spring from a unified, harmonious vision. It was a forced collision of rivals, fighting to survive. Inside the newly merged company, the culture was volatile. The team burned through capital while fighting a bitter civil war over technical architecture. The infighting culminated in a boardroom coup that ousted Elon Musk as CEO while he was thousands of miles away on his honeymoon. Outside the boardroom, the threats were even worse. Highly sophisticated Russian organized fraud rings were systematically attacking their fragile platform, draining up to $10 million a month. To keep the company alive, Chief Technology Officer Max Levchin and his engineering team had to build entirely new cryptographic defenses from scratch. Simultaneously, executive David Sacks drove relentless product iterations to lock down their user base. Operating at this extreme pace allowed them to conquer the digital payment space. They completely overwhelmed eBay's own in-house payment platform Billpoint right on eBay's own auction site. Enduring simultaneous internal mutinies and external attacks stripped away any traditional corporate structure. What remained was a battle-tested network of extreme interpersonal trust. They forged a trauma bond that would soon dictate the future of Silicon Valley. They navigated the dot-com crash, took the company public, and in October 2002, eBay acquired PayPal for $1.5 billion. This transaction injected a massive, highly concentrated pool of liquidity directly into the hands of the core founders. At that exact moment, the broader venture capital market was frozen. The dot-com collapse had terrified traditional Sand Hill Road investors. These newly rich founders had ambitious, high-risk ideas, but absolutely no institutional backing to build them. Denied access to outside funding, the group acted as their own microeconomy. They used their exit payouts to bankroll each other, turning a standard corporate buyout into the seed capital for the next wave of technology. Peter Thiel used his exit windfall to write early checks for Elon Musk's SpaceX and Reid Hoffman's LinkedIn. Roelof Botha joined Sequoia Capital, backing YouTube. Levchin, Sacks, and Hoffman launched interconnected funds, pouring capital into dozens of startups at a velocity traditional firms couldn't match. In late 2006, Google purchased YouTube for $1.65 billion. The closed-loop financial syndicate was highly efficient at manufacturing global value. By relentlessly underwriting each other's ventures, the PayPal alumni bypassed the risk-averse gatekeepers entirely, effectively monopolizing early tech innovation. By the 2020s, the scale of this syndicate's compounding wealth was massive. The original members personally founded 11 distinct billion-dollar companies, funded over 150 more, and currently controlled tens of billions in assets across their megafunds. With that capital base, the network pivoted. They stepped away from lightweight consumer software and social media apps and moved aggressively into capital-intensive, hardware-focused engineering. Elon Musk scaled SpaceX and Tesla, completely upending global launch logistics and forcing the legacy automotive industry to adopt electric manufacturing. Simultaneously, Peter Thiel's Palantir and Anduril secured massive contracts with the Pentagon, embedding the network's technology deep into military intelligence, surveillance systems, and national defense. The syndicate outgrew the digital realm. They utilized their compounded wealth to engineer the physical hardware and sovereign security systems of entire nations. Having conquered global markets and defense contracting, the network is now directly integrating into federal governance. Recent appointments make this explicit. David Sacks was tapped to draft federal AI and cryptocurrency regulations, while Elon Musk took the helm of the newly created Department of Government Efficiency. The contrarian, techno-libertarian philosophies debated in a crowded Palo Alto office in 1999 are now actively shaping national policy, defense budgets, and global market rules. The 2002 eBay acquisition provided a lucrative payday, but more importantly, it seeded a high-trust, closed-loop dynasty. They weaponized their early survival lessons, compounded their capital, and built the ruling architecture of the modern world.